Hello, welcome to the Spanish Football Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Alex Kirkland, this is Sid Lowe.
It's a bit chilly.
It's a bit chilly, it's a little bit windy. We're slightly worried our tripod's going to blow over, but we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
We are here, Sid, to talk about Matchday 16. Can you believe it? In La Liga, which starts
off...
off...
because last week was 15.
That's how it works, isn't it? Starts off with a cracker on Friday night, Villarreal against Atleti.
It is good, this, and Atletico Madrid, of course, are under quite a lot of pressure now. Diego Simeone, after they were beaten by Barcelona last week, said this was a transitional season. And
people aren't that happy about that discourse.
I mean, he has hinted at this being more difficult than people think previously this season. You know, that time on LaLiga when he's saying, you know, don't let people confuse you, don't let people trick you. This is going to be hard. In the summer, in an interview in Argentina, he said, this is the most difficult season I've had.
You can understand that a lot of it is, yes, you can see why. They've lost key players.
Of course.
They lost Griezmann, they lost Godin. Yeah. They lost, you know, they've lost some, Lucas Hernandez as well, the other big
two fullbacks.
They've rebuilt the team.
And Rodri.
But spent a lot of money in the process.
Yeah, spent a lot of money in the process, but I think the problem from Simeone's point of view is because they spent a lot of money, people thought this was an exciting new era, and it kind of hasn't happened. And I think this is the first time he said this clearly, a transitional year, which, by the way, totally breaks with his discourse in his entire time at Atletico Madrid, which has always been about one game at a time, not about transitioning,
is this a transitional
not about what comes
game?
Next. Well, maybe it is a transition.
Oh, by the way, what's up with Santi? He's injured, isn't he? I think.
Yes,
he's
but not a serious one, and nothing. This is good news. Nothing to do with the injury from before.
That is great news. Saturday starts off with Real Madrid against Espanyol at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid a little bit of an injury crisis. No Hazard, no Marcelo, no Bale. They should still have enough for Espanyol.
Yeah, they should. I mean, to be honest, me and you probably have enough for Espanyol right now, who are in terrible.
I don't know about that.
Imagine us playing Espanyol. Anyway, they're in terrible trouble and they're under a huge amount of pressure. And of course, for those who don't know, last week Pablo Machin came out and, as they say in Spanish, pegó una rajada. Pegó una rajada. He basically said, we need real men, we need real footballers, we can't have these novices, this isn't good enough. Obviously it was a message for the board to say, bring me some new players, but it was also a message about the attitude of some of the players who are there. They are in big trouble, and I suspect they won't win for the next 4 games because they're playing Betis, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and then the one they could win, but it's huge if they don't, Leganés.
After that, it's Granada against Alaves. I have to say, I've been quite impressed with Alaves recently.
I like
Asier
Alaves.
Garitano has done there. Had a bit of a tricky start at the start of the season, but since then, against Real Madrid, for example, I thought they were very good.
The way it was put to me is that they've sort of learnt their roles. So Joselu in particular and Lucas Perez have kind of learnt the kind of things.
Dynamic duo.
Well, that's the key. The key is the dynamism. So they've learnt the kind of movements, the kind of runs that the rest of the team needs, and that means we're now seeing an Alaves side that actually is creating a reasonable amount as well, that has some of the defensive solidity of before, but is probably a bit better to watch now.
Derby, Levante against Valencia.
Woof.
Yeah.
It's Valencia. I don't know about you, I keep waiting for that moment where Valencia start to rack up a lot of victories in a row. I feel like Philades is doing quite a good job, but
I still think he looks a bit like he's on work experience when he's on the bench. I don't know. He looks like it,
but that's the thing. Until we see him inside, we don't really know.
The 9 o'clock game on Saturday is Barcelona against Mallorca. I mean, that's got home banker written all over it, hasn't it?
Cue Mallorca winning? It's not very likely, is it? I mean, at home, look, we've said all season that we have doubts about Barcelona, but the truth is, of course, at the Camp Nou, they've been pretty good.
Sunday starts off at midday with Eibar against Getafe. What are your thoughts, Sid, on Eibar Getafe?
My thoughts are that these are two teams that will both try and squeeze each other quite high. They're both relatively direct. It's going to be
so squeezed, so tight.
I think it might actually be quite fun.
It will be quite fun. This is a big game. Real Betis against Athletic Club. Betis starting to turn things around, perhaps.
And Ruby now starting to feel like he's not going to be on the way out, starting to feel like people are realising that there was work being done that's now being confirmed, that's now kind of in a position where they've stopped talking to Setien. Watford are talking to Setien instead now, apparently.
I'd love to see Setien.
By the way, that tripod's going any minute now.
We're good. We're going to keep going. 4 o'clock, Valladolid against Real Sociedad. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I like watching Real Sociedad.
Oh, and Valladolid Sergio just got a new contract today, by the way.
Which he really does deserve, no doubt about it.
Very likeable man. 6:30. Is it an exaggeration to say this is the biggest game of the weekend at Butake? You'll be there, Leganés against Celta. It is the game of the weekend, it just is.
I suppose, in a way, I mean, you could say the Valencia one is, you could say Villarreal against Atletico Madrid is, but in terms of importance, I think you're right, because it feels, doesn't it, like Leganés are this close now to being in a position where...
That close, guys.
It's done. It's finished. They're down. Now, that's too much, and I know a couple of Leganés fans were not too happy with Phil suggesting on Monday that they were already gone. If they don't win this, because it's not just about them... It's not just about... Hey, we know a few of them. Quite a lot of them, in fact. It's not just about you know, Leganes getting the win that they need. It's about the teams they have to catch to pull themselves out of there, and this is one of them.
Oh, the sorry, bottom was falling over.
It nearly
Last
went
game,
there, didn't it?
9 o'clock. If this cuts off, you know why.
If we go like this,
Osasuna
it's not
against
us going
Sevilla
like
at
this,
9
it's the
p.m. That
camera.
should be a great game. Sevilla once again, the late night Sunday slots.
Sevilla do like that, man.
Hey!
So that game, I mean, that's a good way to end. That game, who knows?